Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. My girlfriend and I sat down for dinner last night, and somehow the conversation turned dark. After dinner was finished, she told me this story about her neighbors from the town she grew up in Iran. I'll say it in first person to make it easier to understand. I was young, around 9 years old, and I didn't really know them well, but my sisters and mom knew them a bit better. They lived a few houses down the street in our hometown Babel. They were a young married couple with 2 8-year-old twin boys. The grandmother lived with the family as they had a nice house with plenty of room. I'd often see the grandmother in the garden with the boys, teaching them about growing vegetables and fruits. They all got along very well, as most of our neighbors did. It was a nice street with primarily wealthy people. At some point when I was 9, the boy's grandmother passed away from old age. Her passing wasn't a big story, as she was old, and I suppose it was expected. As most parents would do, they consoled the boys by telling them the normal line that we all tell our kids in times like these. Grandma went to heaven. Grandma's fine. It was just her time to leave us. Someday we'll see Grandma again, and she's looking over us now from heaven, and so on. A period of time passed. I'm assuming it was 4 months. Life moved on, and I would see the boys come home from school, play soccer in the backyard, and do the things that boys would do. The twins were old enough that they would be left home by themselves at times. Iran is different than the US in regards to children being able to wander free and manage themselves for brief periods. I can't remember why, but they were home alone for a period of time one day, and the mother was the first one home. It was in the summer, I think, August. Upon entering the home, the mother finds a note next to the front door that reads, "We went to see Grandma. We'll be back soon." She went further into the home and found both boys hanging by their necks, dead, blue lips and cold to the touch. They had either hung themselves by snapping their necks or slowly asphyxiated themselves with their own weight and the rope so that they could visit grandmother and come back in time for dinner. Everyone in the neighborhood was horrified when the word spread out about what happened. It took about 4 years for the mother to regain control of herself as she went into a deep depression. Eventually, they had another child, and life began again for them. Anyway, all I could think of that night was, wow, that's a really messed up thing to tell me after you make your family's favorite dish from Iran.